MLB The Show 26 gameplay trailer dropped today, and there was a lot of discourse online about what was in the trailer, what wasn't in the trailer, and honestly, everyone had some hot takes. So in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and watch the trailer with you guys, pause it, break down things that I saw in the trailer, and show you guys some things you may have missed. Then we're going to go to the SDS blog and talk about all the things they include in the blog. And then finally, I'm going to give you my opinion about the trailer and give you my opinion of how I am feeling going into MLB The Show 26. Hopefully you guys are enjoy it. Be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're the first time seeing my content or you're enjoying what you're watching. Let's go ahead and get into the trailer. So as we get into the trailer here, I'm just going to pause it right off the get-go. One thing you guys might notice is it doesn't look like there is a big graphical leak from MLB The Show 25 or even MLB The Show 21 and 22 to what we're getting for MLB The Show 26. And there is a lot of people, rightfully or wrongfully, who are very upset about the fact that the graphics have not increased at the rate they would like to see and are not on par with games like NBA 2K or Madden. For me personally, I've never been a big graphics guy. I'm more of a gameplay guy, especially on MLB The Show, where I think performance and frame rate stability is more important to me. But I understand why people are frustrated about the graphics, especially if you're franchise first or road to the show players. Graphics really help with immersion. Now, personally, I don't think MLB The Show looks that bad, but it definitely isn't at the same level of PGA 2K or, like I said, 2K or Madden, and I can understand why that frustrates people. So what you're going to see right off the get-go in this trailer, not a big graphical leap in MLB The Show 26. But there is one thing here, which is Aaron Judge is in his Team USA jersey. The WBC is obviously starting in just a couple of weeks in real life. It is going to be in the game, and a lot of this trailer does focus on stuff coming for WBC content.
But in the work. One swing, one pitch, one moment at a time. It starts here.
So for me, I was a really big fan of the college integration in MLB The Show's Road to the Show last year. College is something that we've been asking for a really long time, and they've increased that integration this year. Last year, there was 8 teams you could select. This year, there is an additional 11 teams that you can select for the College World Series. And as they break down in the blog, they actually have full licensing to the College World Series this year, including the stadium, Charles Schwab Field. It's no longer a custom creation. It's the actual Charles Schwab Field. There's also real men's College World Series tournament bracket set up for this year's game, and I think that's really cool. They showed off 5 additional schools that you're going to be able to pick from in this trailer. We got Florida, we got Michigan, we got Arkansas, we got Fresno State, and we got Stanford. And that's in addition to North Carolina and Oregon State, who they had already shown off on blogs last fall.
Bus rides, long days, late nights, dialing in your swing, leveling up your look.
So I will say this character creator in Road to the Show does look to have gotten kind of an overhaul. It looks like you have a lot more customization with your character than you have in prior years. Although I've always enjoyed MLB The Show's customization. Adding more ways to customize our players and kind of show our own flair on our players is really cool. I'm going to be doing a Road to the Show series here on this channel, so be on the lookout for that. I'm very happy that they increased that.
Chasing your first, hey, that kid's special.
This is huge. If you're a Diamond Dynasty player, this is massive. First of all, here's your first look at the new card UI in this year's game. As you can see, they've changed how attributes work in this game. No longer is there base running aggressiveness, plate discipline, durability, all of those attributes that didn't have any impact on gameplay are no longer in the game, or at least no longer on the card art, which is great. They've also split the fielding into directional reaction. So players will now have fielding ratings and reaction ratings for going to the right, going to the left, moving backwards, or moving forward. That's a big issue with Ronald Acuna Jr. He's a lot better coming in on the ball, not as good going back on the ball, and now that's going to be reflective on these cards. I absolutely love this. They also said for pitchers, hits per nine and Ks per nine are now going to be broken down to splits. So there'll be hits per nine versus lefties, hits per nine versus righties, Ks per nine for lefties, and Ks per nine for righties. I think that's great. It makes pitchers, especially bullpen pieces, a lot more situationally relevant. I absolutely love that.
And it clicks. You're locked in. Every swing smoother, every pitch nasty.
So yeah, you can see that they're really focusing on that ratings overhaul. It was something that they mentioned a lot in the blog post leading up to launch this year and leading up to this gameplay trailer. It seems like they focused a lot on ratings. One thing that they didn't show in this trailer, but we have known for a while, pop time for catchers is officially an attribute. It's no longer a quirk. So players will have a 0 to 99 rating, or catchers will have a 0 to 99 rating on pop time. So I really like that. Hopefully it makes defensive catchers a lot more worth it.
Every moment, straight heat.
This is the first look at the in-game UI. Now, I don't know if this is the DD UI or if this is just Franchise or Road to the Show UI, but it reminds me a lot of like MLB the Show 11 or MLB the Show 08. It gives me a lot of retro vibes, which I think is really interesting. And then you can see down in the bottom below the sweeper, if you press L2, they're going to talk about this in just a second. It's called the bear down mechanism, and it basically allows pitchers a couple of times, and we don't know if it's per inning, per at bat, or what it might be. Basically what it looks like is when you use that bear down, it takes away the par. So you know if you hit your pinpoint, your pitch is going to go exactly where it wants. This could be absolutely massive in online games because there's so many times in MLB The Show, the pitch just goes wherever it wants. It goes in the par. You have no control of it. In big moments, full counts, runners on base, you want to be able to have that precise pinpoint control if you hit your pinpoint input. Now with bear down pitching, it looks like that's going to be the case.
Big moment for the closer.
Robert Flores is an announcer. Don't know if that means we're going to have multiple announce teams this year. Would be really cool if we did. Would love to see Roflo commentating on games.
He delivers. Got him swinging.
Obviously, this is a huge thing. World Baseball Classic is in Diamond Dynasty. They haven't said whether or not it's going to be in any other mode yet, but the fact that they are focusing so much on WBC and DD does kind of unfortunately make me think that Diamond Dynasty is going to be the only WBC mode. That's really disappointing. I would love it in Road to the Show. I would love a tournament mode, or even free play with the different teams.
Okay.
Tokyo Dome in the game. We've been asking for this since the last WBC. Honestly, I could see myself playing here in Diamond Dynasty, especially if it runs well, because it does have higher elevation. The ball really flies in the Tokyo Dome, which is sick. They also show the other stadiums for the WBC. I can't remember what the name of the stadium is in Puerto Rico, but it was confirmed for the game as well. So getting these new extra stadiums for WBC content, I think it's really cool. I'm a sucker.
Now you're repping your country.
Showing all the players in their WBC uniforms, including the Japanese player who I don't believe is in the MLB, but I could be off base about that. They might have been showing off that they got Japanese players' rights.
Different pressure, different pride.
This is huge. Last time we got WBC in game, it was limited to only the teams that were like in the playoff rounds of the tournament. So we got some Great Britain. We got, the DR, Puerto Rico. This year, all 20 World Baseball Classic federations are going to be in the game, meaning we can get players and cards for every team that plays in World Baseball Classic. That's awesome.
This is the world stage. Or maybe your journey takes you upstairs. Flipping pro.
So I want to spend a little bit of time on this. They did focus a little bit on changes coming to franchise mode. They showed this new front office UI. I know a lot of people have been looking for big franchise changes, and I'm with you. I used to be a primarily franchise gamer. I still am a big franchise gamer in both CFB and Madden, and I want franchise to be great in MLB The Show because I want to play it. I am going to be doing a franchise on YouTube that's YouTube exclusive this year with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think they're in a fun place in the rebuild, but I really hope they knock the franchise stuff out of the park this year.
Lineups.
So one of the things they showed is this new trade hub. This looks to be overhauled. I don't really know what it is yet. Obviously, they'll break it down more in the feature premiere that we get in the next couple of weeks on franchise, but I'm curious to see what this is going to be.
Building a ball club your way. Getting to the majors? That's just the beginning. Cooperstown.
Hall of Fame ceremonies in Road to the Show. Super cool. You can see other players attending, like Derek Jeter's in the background. Mike Piazza's off to the left. Ken Griffey. Off to the right, Randy Johnson. You got Joe Mauer, David Ortiz. Looks like Adrian Beltre in the back row. Being able to go to the Hall of Fame is something that doesn't need to be included, but I think it's a cool inclusion to give some extra immersion if you get to the end of a Road to the Show. Really cool.
It's the goal. But you gotta earn it. It's your journey, your moment, your show. Make your mark. Become a legend.
And then they had to end the trailer off with a bang, showing off some new legends we have coming to MLB The Show 26. First off, Albert Pujols is back. Super hyped about that. Felix Hernandez, welcome back to MLB The Show 26. Very hyped about Felix being back in the game. And then finally, Roy Campanella. If you guys don't know Roy Campanella, you should Google him. Go look at his stats. One of the best catchers of all time. Good pop. 3-time MVP in the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 40s. Great player. He's going to be a part of the NGL storylines or the Negro League storylines as well, which is fantastic. So that's the whole gameplay trailer. Now, I will say, and I'm going to get into this a little bit more, when I first watched this, as always, I'm really excited for an MLB The Show launch, but I did leave this trailer outside of the legend reveals and a few things they showed, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I'm always hyped going into a launch, but for some reason, this didn't build my hype very much. I don't know if it's mostly because it does kind of look like prior iterations of the show. And I know there's a lot of people, myself included, that were hoping for some changes or some substantial changes this year. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And like I said, I'll break this down a little bit more at the end of the video where I give my full thoughts. And then like always, we did get a blog post to go along with the trailer today. And then we're going to be getting a feature premiere on Thursday that will deep dive a lot of these changes. As you can see here, the Road to the Show stuff, 11 additional colleges, which is cool. Officially licensed NCAA Men's College World Series format and bracket. I think that is huge. And then introduce new goals to keep you pushing to progress throughout your career. I want to see what that looks like. Because one of the big issues, in my opinion, with Road to the Show and MLB The Show is once you actually make it to the minors and the majors, there's not really a whole lot that's pushing you forward. So I would like to see dynamic goals that you could get stubs for or get equipment for. I think that'd be really cool. Hopefully that's something they added to this year's game. Obviously, there's a big emphasis on the World Baseball Classic. It's something that they're focusing a lot of. You can see that they brought in the WBC ballparks, like I said, the Tokyo Dome and the Stadio Hiram Bithorn. Probably butchered that, but this is very interesting to me. There apparently is a mini seasons overhaul, something they didn't show in the trailer, and it's just a throwaway line here in this gameplay blog. There's a lot of people that really don't like mini seasons. I'm very curious to see what they did with mini seasons for this year's game. And then you can see that they're just saying there's going to be more rewards, more programs, yada, yada, yada. Storylines is back for season 4. Roy Campanella, like I said, is going to be one of the players featured, which is really cool. Franchise gets a little bit of a blog as well. We've seen previously that they're focusing on modernizing franchise decisions and modernizing how teams set lineups. So instead of it being like the old style way, best hitters now hit second. You want high on base percentage guys leading off rather than high average guys or high speed guys. So you're going to see that reflected in the actual MLB The Show teams in franchise mode, which I actually absolutely love. They don't mention it in this. Maybe I need to go to the PlayStation Store, which we'll look at after. But one thing they did say they focused on was player regression. And if you played any franchise mode in MLB The Show, player regression is one of the worst parts in the mode. It's based on service time instead of age. So players like Juan Soto or Ronald Acuna, who hit Major League Baseball at 18 or 19, will start regressing really hard when they hit 10 years of service time, meaning 28, 29 years old. They don't play very far into their 30s. By the time they're 31 years old, they're 60 overall players and completely unusable. Obviously, that's not realistic to how people play in Major League Baseball, and I hope that that's something they focused on this year because it's something that definitely needs to be changed. Then we got some little blog about the actual gameplay changes coming. We saw the bear down pitching mechanism, the new stadiums, of course, hits per nine and strikeouts per nine, attribute splits, and pitch repertoire usage rate. Like I said, so hits per nine and Ks per nine have been split among lefties and righties. I think that that's a good change. There's reaction time for the different fielding locations, catcher pop time. And then I am curious, one thing they did is recaptured all knee down catcher animations, which I am hoping means that it's more viable to throw out runners this year. That was a really big issue in MLB The Show 25. Basically, if someone stole on you, you were cooked. There was no chance to get them out. Pop time didn't work, period, as a quirk, and you could never throw anyone out. So I hope that's something they focus on. Two things they didn't put in this blog, but they mentioned in the prior blogs. Bat to ball physics got changed for this year's. I hope they go into more detail on that on Thursday. And they also said pitch, like how pitches move and pitch physics got updated. And I'm curious to see what that did, because obviously the meta for years has been sinker cutter. And I really, really hope that there's more balance across different pitches this year. Makes curveballs viable, man. Curveballs have been so bad in MLB The Show for so long at this point. Please do something about it. As you can see, the Digital Deluxe Edition, $99.99, but they did do something. There's now a loyalty bonus. If you purchased any version, any digital version of MLB The Show from MLB The Show 21 to 25, you're eligible for a 10% discount on the Digital Deluxe version of this game on the platform you had previously purchased the game on. So if you bought digital version of MLB The Show 21 on PS or PlayStation, then you'll get a 10% discount on the PlayStation version of MLB The Show 26 Digital Deluxe. That's awesome. I really appreciate them doing that. Obviously, I buy the game, so saving some money, I will definitely take. Now and later packs are back. You can log on to MLB The Show 25 right now, unlock, I think, 25 now and later packs after the program that dropped today. Plus, they dropped a 99 new Carlos Beltran, and we're also, if you finish the program, you'll get a diamond overall Carlos Beltran to start MLB The Show 26, kind of like they did with Willie Mays. I did want to look at one more thing before I hopped off, though, which is the actual PlayStation Store listing of MLB The Show 26, because there was some interesting tidbits included in the PlayStation Store listing that didn't show up anywhere else, and I'm kind of excited about that. So first and foremost, this big zone hitting, they didn't explain it anywhere else, but they did actually explain it here. You can have more control over where your bat is actually hitting the zone, meaning you can be more precise and hit sweet spots. I really, really like that. They obviously said that they were going to revamp mini seasons campaigns, but one thing they didn't talk about is they upgraded the PXP system and added parallel mods. And what I read that as is, historically parallel levels, you go +1 to every attribute as you parallel a card. I'm wondering if this means you're going to be able to modify what attributes are increased when you're paralleling. So say a player has 105 power, but only 80 contact. Could I go like +2 on each of the contacts and then not get a +1 on your power? That could be crazy, and honestly, it could lead to a lot of strategy in Diamond Dynasty team building. The other thing they mentioned here, there's a new red diamond rarity tier, so it's not just going to be diamonds, there's now red diamonds. I'm curious to see what that's going to be all about. I think that was mostly it as far as this PlayStation blog goes, but I did want to point those guys out to you because it's stuff that people noticed today, and I'm here to give you all the news. So that is the gameplay trailer for MLB The Show 26. Like I said, we have a feature premiere deep dive this Thursday. We're also probably going to get a more in-depth blog this Thursday as well, focusing exclusively on gameplay. Last year, after we got the gameplay trailer, they waited a week to start the feature premiere, so I'm happy they're doing it right away this time. Maybe it means we have more feature premieres this go around. Very excited about that. Overall, my thoughts about the trailer, I started in on it earlier in the video. I'm excited about a new MLB The Show. I'm always going to be excited about a new MLB The Show. I make content on the game. I love baseball. I love the baseball season. But this gameplay trailer today did not do anything to build my hype for the game. I'm excited about the legends, Pujols, Felix Hernandez, Campanella. I'm excited about WBC. I'm excited about the Tokyo Dome. But after playing MLB The Show 23 and 24 and 25, it kind of feels like we're going to be getting more of the same in 26. And so this doesn't feel like the big step forward that a lot of people wanted for this game series, especially when you look at games like 2K or Madden and what they've done, or even CFB and what they've done on the next gen. Now, I know a lot of people have issues with Madden and 2K and CFB this year, but at the end of the day, I don't want MLB The Show to take such tiny incremental steps forward that they ultimately fall behind those games. But it does look like it's going to be like a building block year and less of like a massive overhaul year. It feels like we've been saying that for a few years at this point, though. So how many times are we okay with a building block year before we get like massive changes, before people kind of turn off on the game? I will say my comments on TikTok, my comments on Twitter have been exceptionally negative about this reveal today, whether it be the graphics, whether it be the lack of like overarching big features. It feels like a lot of the community is very frustrated with this first gameplay trailer. Now, I'm not out on MLB The Show 26. I think MLB The Show 25 was a very solid game, and if they build on that for 26 and give us better gameplay with the same content style we got in 25, I think this has the opportunity to be a really, really good game. But I understand why people are burnt out. I understand why people are frustrated. At the end of the day, I can never tell you whether or not a game's worth it. I can never tell you whether to buy a game. If you don't want to buy the game, if you don't feel like they've done enough to justify you spending $70 or $100 on this game, then don't buy the game. Don't pre-order it. Wait for reviews to come out. Wait for your favorite creators who you trust. Wait for IGN or others doing reviews. Decide whether or not the game's for you, and then make your decision. Now, I will tell you, I'm going to be playing the game day one. I'll be making content on the game. You guys know that. You can drop a subscription here. You can drop a like on this video. I'm going to be doing more YouTube content. But at the end of the day, man, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm my normal new MLB The Show hype, and this thing didn't do anything today to raise that hype. And that's kind of disappointing because I kind of had some big expectations for what they were going to show today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really tried to break down everything that I saw in the trailer and everything that I saw today and pass that news along to you guys. I appreciate you guys watching this one. We'll catch you in the next one.